everyone, it's Serena Fazan, and thank you so much for joining us. Of course, it's my favorite day. It's Wednesday, and we're going on the record. I am delighted to have two amazing guests today. Gwen Greene, the CEO of Tampa Crossroads, Brigadier General Chip Diehl, who has such a long list of accolades, I cannot even begin to start, so we're going to let you do it, General. Yeah. But Gwen, let's start with you. Thank you so much for being here. Obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, for many people who may not know, May is National Mental Health Awareness Month, as well as National Military Month. So why did we come together? We're going to get into that. But Gwen, let's start with you.
Thank you so much for having me, Serena. As you mentioned, I am CEO at Tampa Crossroads, and we do lots of things at Tampa Crossroads. We help with housing, and we work with veterans, and we have two programs specific to mental health counseling. So we really appreciate being here to be able to talk about some of the things we do as we kind of wrap up the Mental Health Awareness Month.
Well, we're so happy to have you here. And General, okay, so tell us about you.
I'm General Chip Diehl. I was born on MacDill Air Force Base.
You were?
I was born here, and the short bio for me is a circle of life brought me back to command the base, MacDill Air Force Base. And then I left after MacDill. I went up to the Pentagon on a day that we will all remember, 9/11. I was in the Pentagon on 9/11.
You are kidding.
I was inside the Pentagon on 9/11. Then right after that, I had the honor of coming down and working for General Franks, General Abizaid at Central Command as we started the war on terrorism. So I'm basically a Tampa native, born and bred, and now I retired, and my family and I enjoy the area here.
Well, we are so glad to have you here. And gosh, that gave me goosebumps when you said you were actually born on MacDill Air Force Base. Well, I just think the two of you are such amazing guests. And speaking of things coming full circle, Gwen, you started out as an intern, right, at Tampa Crossroads?
I did. 16 years ago, I was a graduate student at USF studying mental health counseling and rehabilitation counseling, and did my internship at Tampa Crossroads at our women's residential program, Rose Manor, and then became a counselor at that program, and then a couple years later became clinical director, and then eventually CEO.
Why are you so passionate about this cause, and why have you stayed, so long?
That is a very big question. Personally, I do a lot of things. I focus really hard on making sure I'm well balanced, that I exercise, I try to eat well, I try to take care of myself mentally, spiritually, everything. And Tampa Crossroads does an incredible job of doing the same for the people we serve. We don't just put someone in a program, kind of push them through, focus on that one thing, and then send them out. We want to completely, wrap our arms around them and help solve every challenge they have so that they can be successful long term. So with our veterans experiencing homelessness, we're not going to just give them housing and then say good luck. We're going to have long-term case management, provide any service they need, mental health, physical health, whatever it is that they need so they can be successful, and then eventually take over that rent on their own and stay stable and stay stably housed for the long haul, their entire family. And I just think it's so important that for everybody at all of our programs that we have that same concept, because I think that's human nature. That's what we all need as individuals, is to have care for every aspect of our life. And Tampa Crossroads does such a good job of doing that.
So General, let me ask you, before you met Gwen today here at these amazing studios, did you know about Tampa Crossroads?
No, I didn't, but I want to learn more, that's for sure. And I want to thank her. Memorial Day that we're looking at here right now is an opportunity that I would tell everybody just to take time, pause, reflect, and say thank you. So thank you very much. It's a fascinating program.
Absolutely, and so that's what I wanted to talk to you about too, because one of the many reasons why we wanted to do the show today on the record is for more and more people to learn about Tampa Crossroads. Right. Because here we have this amazing agency, right, in our backyard, and we just need to get the word out about all of the amazing things that you do. So General, when you hear, and again, they have many programs, but when you hear specifically about the veterans and how they want to help the veterans, what is going through your heart and your mind with your background?
Well, let me shift that a little bit and see if I can bring it home by reflecting on Memorial Day.
Absolutely.
Memorial Day is a day that we all recognize, and it is focused on those that have given the ultimate sacrifice, that have actually died. One thing that I am here representing as well is the Gold Star families. Gold Star families are those that actually lost a loved one in combat, if you will. Very, very difficult situation. But the one thing we want to do with Memorial Day also, I would ask everybody, is to also remember more than just those that have given the ultimate sacrifice, the Gold Star families, but also our wounded. You know, in the war from Afghanistan to Iraq to today, over 53,000 wounded
53,000.
are still living in our communities today. Equally, I would ask us to look at the spouses, because the families of those wounded immediately become the caregivers, but they immediately take on the entire stress and strain. So when I think of the Crossroads, and you were talking about mental health, we all know in the military suicides is a very, very high focused priority. But this whole Memorial Day is a day that we can just wrap our arms around, give thanks, embrace each other, show the passion, learn, and then recommit ourselves to the future.
And I feel, yes, we have to have that on the forefront of our minds.
Right.
So Gwen, when you hear about this, and again, we know that Tampa Crossroads does a variety of programs, but speaking of the military, and as we are so close to Memorial Day, how can people seek help? And I think the General brought up such an important point. It is not just the veteran. Look, it's giving me goosebumps. It's the families. If you could talk about that, like how do people come to you? How do you find them, or how can they reach you?
Well, I think, first of all, I'd like to touch on there's so much stigma surrounding mental health treatment, and reaching out to help, to get help, to know where to find it, to know at what point do I need to ask for help. And I love that you brought up the families, because I think it's very, very easy to kind of get sucked into just thinking, I have to be the caretaker. This is my new role, and this is what I do now, and not stepping back and looking at what do I need to be able to do that in the best way. And we have been working very hard to send that message. Come and seek out help. Come to Tampa Crossroads and get counseling with us before it becomes a crisis. And our counselors are, they're there and ready. We have funding for people who live in Hillsborough County for mental health and addictions treatment. And it doesn't have to be, it's not necessarily inpatient or hospitalization. It's just giving them someone to talk to and share their own story, where they're coming from, and how can we help.
In general, I'd love for you to touch upon that too, because you're right. I think so oftentimes, I was in traditional television news for years and years, right? The stigma surrounding mental health that really shouldn't be there, because sometimes all of us can need some help. So, on the outside, everything might look, oh, okay, everything is great, but the trauma that you could be going through certainly can affect every layer of your life. As far as the military, I can't even imagine some of the things that they see. And again, bringing that home to their families.
One of the things I would bring right away, just some quick points. When we started the war and we heard about PTSD, everybody thought, well, that was just one of the, the challenges of war. It's real. So what we're finding here today, even talking today with the Crossroads and the veterans, if you go to a wounded today, the first thing they will say is, I want to go back with my unit, go back into combat. I'm okay. Well, you're not okay. And what we're finding here is we need to open up and share. Learning about Crossroads, what we need to do is take Gwen's great program, put it on the net, and share it, and get our community to include it in the toolbox of everything that we are doing. This community has a vast
military presence.
Military presence, but love for country. You go back to Memorial Day, originally it was called Decoration Day.
Oh.
After the Civil War. And ultimately, that legacy of the military has transcended to today at Arlington. When you go to so many of our national cemeteries, And you see the little flag? And the little flag is to remember that member who gave their life for our country. What we need to get out is get the word out, remember and embrace each other, and take this goodness to the big time. And I would like to just thank you for this. This is the opportunity that we all need to do this. So
Well,
on
thank
behalf
you.
of both of us, thanks.
I'm trying to help, as much as I can, right? But General, and so it was, doing the show and getting the word out there. So General, when you mentioned putting Tampa Crossroads like in the toolbox, how do we do it though? I mean, yes, thank you so much for people for watching the show, and I appreciate it. I love having you guys on the show. I would encourage people to share the show. But how else can we do it? How can we get it in front of some of these amazing men and women who have sacrificed so much for our country?
There's a myriad of ways to do that. Let's just suffice it to say, your audience will be the first opportunity. They are now hearing it. Lights will go on and saying, mental health, homelessness, veterans, I want to be a part of it. So hopefully they will call into you, both of you, and say, let's do it. Secondly, I can take it and launch it into my little network, and we can get it out. The first people that don't realize this a lot of times? The military members.
Right.
We got to get it to the military families. Like a lot of times they'll say, we got jobs, we got this, we're doing transitioning veterans. And the veterans will say, never heard of it. So we need to get it inside the fence at MacDill and get it out in our communities. We have 388,000 veterans living in Tampa Bay.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
veterans. Those are not active duty. There's another 15 to 20,000 at MacDill. This is a beautiful, humongous community and opportunity.
So Gwen, we know when I saw you nodding as the General was saying things. So tell me your reaction to it. What was really resonating with you?
Well, speaking of lights going on, and we spoke briefly about how we can work together, my mind is just spinning. Speaking of trauma, June is PTSD Awareness Month.
Wow.
And this is just perfect timing. And a big piece of that trauma, as you mentioned, is the secondary trauma that the family and loved ones can be facing. And another thing I'm thinking about is we offer telehealth. How easy would it be for us to be able to provide services at the convenience of the military personnel and their families? We could work it around any time of the day. It's just over the computer. There's just so many options that we can offer these services.
So much more to talk about. So we're going to go to a break. We're going to come right back because this help so many people can get without, it doesn't even cost them a dime. It's just the effort. So I want to talk about that when we come back. So stay with us.
Love it.
Thank you.
I'm Serena Fazan. We're all so busy, and if you're like me, laundry is at the bottom of your to-do list.
If only you could take care of it in a zip, right? Well, I have news for you. With Zips Dry Cleaners in South Tampa, you can. Affordable, fast, and stress-free. That's why Zips is Tampa's favorite dry cleaners. For just 99 cents a pound, Zips will wash and fold your laundry for you. Just drop off your dirty laundry before 9 a.m. and you'll have it back, fresh and clean, the very next day. Have dry cleaning too? Drop it off by 9 a.m. and it will be ready the same day by 5 p.m. for just $2.49 an item.
And even more convenient, Zips will drop off your dry cleaning and your laundry for a small added fee. Zips didn't invent dry cleaning, but they perfected it. Stop by and see for yourself.
I'm Serena Fazan, and like most people, my skin is a priority. When you look good, you feel good. That's why I turned to South Tampa Dermatology, a full-service medical and cosmetic dermatology practice. Dr. Flynn and her dream team offer the products, services, and procedures I need to keep my skin healthy so I can perform at my very best. And they can do the very same thing for you. It's affordable, and your confidence is priceless. Just head to stderm.com or call 813-872-9551 to make an appointment. Welcome back, everyone. Gosh, I mean, this show, we're talking about so many things. We're talking about helping the veterans. This is National Mental Health Awareness Month and National Military Month. I have Gwen Green here, who is the CEO of Tampa Crossroads, and General Chip Deal, who, oh my gosh, your list again is like, yeah, I can't even begin to list everything, but born at MacDill Air Force Base.
On base.
On base. Gwen was actually an intern at Tampa Crossroads and now is the CEO. And right before the break, we were talking about how there's so many services there, and not just for the veterans, but we're focusing this show because of the timeliness. Most of these programs, though, Gwen, they don't cost people a cent.
Right. Right. The challenge is just spreading that word that they're there. And a lot of people just don't know how to find the help. Tampa Crossroads has been in existence since 1977, and it's still a challenge for us to spread that message that we're here, we have funding, we have these services, we can help.
Where does the money come from?
It comes from a lot of different sources. The majority comes from Hillsborough County, and we also have quite a bit through the VA. And we have some state funds, some very specific funds from other sources, and then we have some donations.
Wonderful. In general, do you feel that there are a lot of adequate programs out there to help the military?
There are a lot of programs, but again, I think what we're talking about is the communication, sharing the awareness, not only to the military members, but also to the community. These are all great programs, but we just need to get the word out. And it's not unusual, but there are a lot of things going on out there. We even saw it all the way through. How do you get a vaccination?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And the military will, stand in line. They will, bide their time and do what's right. But they too needed vaccinations. And people rallied to it. We get it done. So let's rally around what we're talking about today in this brief moment and take advantage of the opportunity to hold hands and link up, and let's go forward.
Aren't my guests amazing? So let's get personal. That's why I love this show. So Gwen, you said you started out as an intern,
Yes.
right, with Tampa Crossroads. But why did you know as a little girl that you wanted to give back? Was did you think at like 3 years old, 10 years old that, oh gosh, I'm going to be the CEO of a nonprofit? Like, what compelled you?
No, I grew up, my parents were both public school teachers, and I think there's not really much more charitable than public school teachers. So I grew up seeing them give every little thing that they have to their students and always looking for ways to give more. So I grew up with that. Eventually, I found my way into, I enjoyed the guidance counseling programs at high school and some of the peer mediation things that they had to offer. I always loved, I've been a runner since high school as well. I loved that camaraderie of just going on a long run together and working things out. And that's kind of what led me into the counseling. I love hearing stories. I love seeing people's expressions as they, oh my gosh, I got it. I never thought of that before. And I think I've been able to bring a lot of that into my role as CEO of just looking at things differently, trying to solve problems in a new way.
Well, see, I feel like with the both of you, right? I mean, both of you have careers and such admirable careers of giving back. So, General, let me ask you that question. Did you always know that you wanted to serve this country? And again, there are no proper words of thanks for your service.
No, the one thing is coming to Tampa when I did as a wing commander, you immediately felt the warmth of this community. And then when I did retire in 2005 after with General Franks, and he said, you need to get into supporting the wounded. And it was just a light, he lit the lamp, if you will. And from then on, I have enjoyed the wounded to giving back to however I can, because again, Memorial Day, reflect, we're blessed. And there's nothing more comforting to me than giving back to however I can.
Well, you said you were born on the base.
I was.
So I would imagine then your parents also served the country?
He did.
So was it your mom and dad that both served?
My dad served.
Your dad? So
My dad was in the B-47 and the Cuban Missile Crisis.
We are definitely going to have the general back with all these stories that he has, right? So did you always know, though, then as a child, like, asking Gwen that question, did you always know as a child, though, that you wanted to go into the military?
Well, it's kind of became our way of life. I grew up in it, and we went ultimately up to Omaha, Offutt Air Force Base, and that becomes your military family that we hear about. And it is something that is very, very endearing, and yeah, pretty much. I saw the airplanes and wanted to fly the airplanes. Ultimately ended up flying the cargo and air refueling tankers for 30 years.
Wow.
It's quite humbling.
Well, so both of you, and I know that you have your own company now, General, but you both are in such strong positions where you could offer guidance, right, to the young people that might be watching, our future leaders of America. What advice, Gwen, would you give a young girl or young boy watching right now about pursuing their passion and getting to a point where you are? I mean, how many CEOs are there? I'm very proud of you, by the way. Very few.
Thank you.
So what advice would you give?
I think two things. One, just as you suggested, passion. If you have a passion for something, stick with it and go for it. That passion will probably not likely lead you wrong. Maybe it won't get you to the point of a CEO, but it'll lead you for lifelong happiness, I believe, following your passion and your dreams and your desires. But also, I think it's important to remember something that I've had to remember, and I still tell myself every day, is there's no one right way to do something. And just keeping that in mind, we don't have to do things the same way the people before us did them. We can find our own right way and get to maybe an even better outcome.
How about you, General? I love that. How about what advice would you give?
I give you 2 words right off the bat.
Okay.
Is imagine. Whatever you imagine is possible, and then think big. Too many times I see folks that come in and say, well, I just kind of want to go to college. I said, where are you going to go to college? Think big. You want USF? You can do it. Oh no, I'm going to go to HCC. No, think big. So raise the bar high. And I always tell folks, if you can't jump for the bar, it's not high enough. But too many times you'll see people that set it about 18 inches over the ground. They step over top of it and they say, we did it. I said, you didn't did it. Think big. So whatever you can imagine is possible, and think big and jump for that bar.
I know, Gwen, you have kids, right? You have
I have 2 kids.
2 little ones. How old are the kids?
11 and 8.
So sweet. General, do you guys have children?
3 boys. One is serving our country out in Hawaii right now.
Oh,
I'm very proud of him. He's a pilot as well. And 2 other sons that are here in Tampa, but we got 6 grandkids, so that's the love of our life.
Yeah, congratulations. My mom always says to me, you love the grandkids more than you love the kids. I don't know if that's, I hope my mom didn't really mean that. I hope that's not necessarily the truth. But don't you feel the examples that we set in our own lives as adults and who we surround ourselves with really serves as an example to our future leaders?
Absolutely, 100%.
Well, the thing I talk about in the community a lot too is what we really need are more role models. We are so fortunate with the Rays, the Bucks, the Lightning. All those players are accessible and great role models. They're in the community and they give back. We need to just kind of appreciate that, one, you can be a role model. A lot of us will be humble and say, no, that's okay. But also appreciate how this community truly is a role model community for the entire country.
I love this community. And
I do
General,
too.
I mean, I have to say, clearly, of course, you are a role model, but look at our Gwen Green here, a
Right.
CEO,
Yeah.
a female CEO, inspiring women. I mean, it's so awesome. I know I go off tangent so much on these shows, but that's why I think they're so much fun, right? Like, we talk about a variety of different topics that you guys met for the very first time today. And now that you have met, you will help us spread the message of Tampa Crossroads,
Definitely.
right, General?
Oh, sure, for sure. Mom, we've already swapped. I gave her my card. She just has to email me and we're ready to go.
You know what? Some advice I will say about that, like in all these, because I never imagined I'd be an entrepreneur, right? So this is like my year and a half, like I'm now an entrepreneur. Someone said to me that whenever you get a business card, it is really important to save the number, and save all the details and email that person. And I have to say, at the very beginning, I found it daunting, but I do love it because I meet incredible people like the two of you.
Right.
So, Gwen, tell us some of the things that people can do other than, of course, we have to spread awareness about Tampa Crossroads, but what else can we do to support your amazing agency?
One thing that we need right now are landlords. We have funding for veterans and for residents of Hillsborough County who are experiencing homelessness. So we have the funds to pay for their rent, but what we are in need of is landlords who will be willing to rent to them. So that's a very big thing. We can't do anything without the landlords.
Right.
So it's a really important relationships that we work incredibly hard to foster.
Is that a paid position, the landlord position, or is that a volunteer position?
Well, it's not someone that we would hire. It's landlords who would rent to our people.
Got it. Okay, I'm sorry. Got it. Landlords. Okay, so there is a call out for landlords. So if you're listening, please. So how do people get in touch with you, though? What is the best way to find you?
The easiest way, without anyone needing to write anything down, would be visit our website, www.tampacrossroads.com, or look for us on Facebook.
So those are the best ways, and they can reach out to you. And of course, you can always reach out to me too, and we can share the message. And General, we know you're going to share the message. You're actually taking notes.
I am taking
Look at
notes.
I mean, he's sitting here taking notes. And I'm sorry, guys, I'm all over the place because I have this huge coffee over there, and it's like my third one actually. It's been quite a morning. But General, all right. So we know you're going to share the message of Tampa Crossroads, but you, for Memorial Day, you have a very big event coming up. What can we do to help you?
I want to end on Memorial Day, circle back, again, a day that we want to remember and reflect. On Monday, Memorial Day, at 11 o'clock, downtown, Riverwalk, McDill Park, we are having a Memorial Day ceremony, which Vice Admiral James Malloy, the Deputy Commander at CENTCOM, is going to be our distinguished speaker. But we would like to invite the entire public out to the McDill Park on the Riverwalk. Come down and join us as we remember those that have gone before.
Well, I told you I would
Equally,
definitely.
I would say though that not only those that have gone before, but like we said, those that are wounded, those serving today, and those families. But if I could end with some fun.
Of course.
Let me end with
Oh
some
my
fun.
gosh,
Because
absolutely.
you know the military. We have now talked about the military and the warmth. We are also very thankful to the community. But one of the things that we have always had that's very symbolic and very close to all of us are our coins, our military coins. The coins, as we enter our units, you're given a coin, a sense of belonging, if you will. But it also becomes nowadays a sign of friendship and trust and thanks. And what I want to do is give each of you one of our Gold Star coins from the Gold Star Memorial to where we will have our event on Monday, so that you have your own coin.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
But it'll also help us remember today, of which I thank you for again. But it'll help you remember on this Memorial Day your coin. Now, do you know the rules of a coin?
No, please
Do you
share.
know the rules?
No, I don't know.
Okay, the rules of the coin. That's the reason they call it a challenge coin.
Okay.
So that if I come up to you, because I know, or if you go to Preston or Kevin, our other
Preston
friends.
Rudy, who was a guest
yeah,
on the show, CEO of Catalyst Communications.
If he had a coin, because I bring one because in case you want to challenge me, and he puts it on a hard surface in a challenging way, because that's
Okay.
how you can always hear the coin. You have 15 seconds to produce a coin. Not the same coin, but a coin to meet the challenge. If you meet it, they owe you a beverage.
Oh, I love that.
If you don't have your coin, you owe him a beverage or her a beverage.
And it could be any coin, like it could be a
Any
quarter
coin.
or a
And
penny
if
or whatever.
many times you'll watch a lot of our leaders around wherever. If you go to General McKenzie at U.S. Central Command, he has coins everywhere. It's a collection, and it shows that bonding that we have amongst each other. If you look at the president, a lot of times right behind their shoulder, they will have their coins sitting up. So hopefully this is a symbolic memory of Memorial Day 2021. Thank you both. And I just wanted to, let's get it off to a good start. And again, thank our community. Thank those that are serving. Thanks to Crossroads. And let's have some fun and make the future exciting.
Gwen, you and I both know we're going to be looking for those coins. Like when the president speaks or whatever, we're going to be looking for the coins. Oh my gosh, it was such a pleasure to have you both on the show, and I hope you both come back on the show. I mean, there's so much to talk about, right? So again, thank you so much, and we hope that all of you will spread the message, of course, about Tampa Crossroads and this amazing Memorial Day event that's coming up. Together we are stronger. You can follow me on all of my social media platforms. I love this graphic that they put up. Guys, look at that. I didn't realize I had all those things. But anyway, it's so exciting. Thank you again so much for tuning in on this Wednesday. Again, my favorite day where we go on the record on a variety of topics. And listen, we listen to the community. So people ask to be on the show and we get back to you. And so reach out. Have a great day, everybody.